Welcome back, Scott Brinkley here. Welcome to the Nexstar sales plan. So if you're watching this, this is the add selling text to the actual sales plan. So if you're watching this and you have not watched the setup tutorial or the managing tutorial, I need you to go ahead and get it out of this and watch those first. Watch them in that order. This way it keeps any confusion down. So we're going to go ahead, as you noticed in the managing tutorial, we had 4 company advisors. We're going to go down here and just scroll over it. And look, it says Selling Tech T, Company Advisor C. So I'm going to change these to technicians. Make sure they're on technicians for T. Well, what that does is it changes the amount of revenue that we should do, for the month based off of the expectations for Selling Techs and for, Company Advisor. It changes that. So the cool thing is you can have both. And the reason I built it this way is because I've been to a lot of shops that either has technicians, selling techs, has company advisors, or has a combination of both. And they really don't know how to gauge those against each other. How can we tell is one doing well? For example, a company advisor, might be closing higher percentage of a technician lead than a technician, but yet they might still be doing the same amount of revenue, or they're still doing this, both doing good jobs. What I mean by that is, so if a technician runs, say, 10 calls, and he turns over 6 of them to company advisors, and company advisor closes 4, well, that's 66% that he closed on those calls. But it's still only 4 sales out of the 10. If that makes sense. So we ran 10 calls total, so the company closure rate was basically 42%. Even though the company advisor closed 66, we got 4.2 sales out of the entire 10, if that makes sense. So if a selling tech runs 10 calls and closes 40%, well, believe it or not, he's doing just as good as that company advisor is for the company, because we still got 4 sales out of the 10. And if you just compare the closure rate only, a selling tech towards a company advisor, you might make some bad decisions on not sending a selling tech when you should. So I built this to compare them against their own kind. What that means is, let's say that we have 2 techs and 2 company advisors. Okay? So if you watch this, 2 techs, 2 company advisors, you've already, again, if you're watching this, you've already seen me go through all these pages. I'm not going to do it again, but let's go to the individual tab. So if this is the case, if you look, it's only comparing the selling techs, which is Henry and John, against each other. So if you see here, both of them are above the minimum. We want to be at 2310. This company does. And this number here is generated off of whatever your average ticket is. So when you do the setup tab, for example, if I raise this average ticket to $8,000, watch what it does. It now changes this. We want to be 2640 per dispatch. Here, a perfect number for company advisor based on that average ticket would be 5280. Let's go ahead and put it back at 7,000. Okay, so we should be 4620. We're at 41. Now, if you look, this guy's a company advisor, and this guy's a company advisor, Frank and John. Well, what it's done is it's compared. I'm sorry, not Frank and John. This guy, Paul and Frank. So it's comparing Paul and Frank. So the only one, if you had 3 leads that came in that were all turnovers, and you had to send them with a company advisor, you would want to give all 3 of those to Frank. I would not give Paul any, because he's got an X next to his name, and obviously this is why. He's ran 5 and not closed any. If you had 3 selling tech leads, or 3 calls that were aged equipment, and you had only 1 tech to send them to, this tells you to send them to every one of them to John. He's averaging 53.33 per dispatch. When you got Henry, who's still, even though Henry's selling 50%, which you think is good, that's why you can't just go off a closure rate. You think he's doing well. Look, he's averaging 27.67. So if you made a mistake and you sent all 3 of those to Henry versus John, it would cost your company about $7,500 on 3 calls. So obviously, In the end game, it costs you a lot more. This is why this is very important. You go back and you again watch the managing tutorial, and it tells you how to use this to dispatch all your people. Well, I hope you enjoy this. It will truly change your business if you implement it and use it as you're supposed to. Thank you.